This is gonna blow your mind. Picture this. Thousands of people, hungry and tired, scattered across a sun-drenched hillside by the Sea of Galilee. The air is thick with hope and desperation. In the center, a single man, Jesus, stands calm, surrounded by a sea of faces, each one longing for a miracle. The sun beats down, the crowd murmurs, and the disciples whisper anxiously. There's no food, no plan, just a gnawing hunger and a question hanging in the air. How can we possibly feed all these people? But what if I told you there's a story, tucked away in John chapter 6, that flips that fear on its head? This isn't just a tale about bread and fish, it's a story where the impossible bursts into reality, where the ordinary explodes into the extraordinary. It's a story that's echoed through centuries, lighting a fire of hope in every heart that hears it. Are you ready? Because what happens next is nothing short of breathtaking. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine the sun blazing over the sparkling Sea of Galilee. The air is alive, buzzing with excitement. A massive crowd, 5,000 strong, blankets a grassy hillside, drawn by whispers of a miracle worker named Jesus. Some are desperate, some are curious, all are hungry for something more. The anticipation is so thick you could slice it with a knife. What will happen? What will they see? This isn't just a crowd, it's a living tapestry of stories. Mothers clutching children, old men leaning on sticks, fishermen, travelers, the sick and the hopeful. Many have seen Jesus heal the blind, the broken, the hopeless. For some, he's their last hope. For others, he's a mystery they can't ignore. Every face in the crowd is lit with longing, with the wild hope that today something incredible might happen. Can you feel the electricity in the air? But as the hours crawl by, excitement fades into hunger. Stomachs rumble, whispers ripple through the crowd. Did anyone bring food? How will we eat? Reality hits. There's no market, no bakery, no way to feed this sea of people. The disciples' faces tighten with worry. The need is overwhelming. The solution, nowhere in sight. What would you do if you were there? Suddenly, Jesus turns to Philip. His voice is calm, but the question is wild. Where can we buy bread for all these people to eat? Philip's eyes widen. He scans the endless crowd, his mind racing. The question is impossible, almost a joke. There's no way. Not enough money, not enough food, not enough hope. Imagine being put on the spot like that. Philip does the math, fast. He blurts out, even if we worked for months, we couldn't buy enough bread for everyone to get a single bite. The numbers are crushing. The need is a tidal wave, their resources a drop in the ocean. It's a moment of raw honesty, of staring the impossible right in the face. Have you ever felt that way? But then, wait. Andrew steps forward, hope flickering in his eyes. He's found a boy in the crowd, clutching a tiny lunch. 5 barley loaves, 2 small fish. It's almost comical. Barely enough for a child. Andrew brings the boy to Jesus, voice trembling. Here's a boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish, but what good is that with this many people? It's hope and doubt tangled together. Would you have offered your lunch? The crowd reacts. Some snicker, some roll their eyes. That's it? That's all? The offering seems ridiculous, almost embarrassing. But Jesus doesn't laugh, he doesn't dismiss the boy or his tiny gift. Instead he sees what no one else can see, the spark of a miracle. Sometimes the smallest spark lights the biggest fire. With a commanding calm, Jesus tells everyone, sit down. The crowd rustles, shifting into groups on the grass. The air is thick with suspense. Something is about to happen, something no one can predict. The disciples move through the crowd, hearts pounding, eyes wide with anticipation and fear. Can you feel the tension building? Then, in front of thousands, Jesus lifts the loaves and fish. He looks to heaven, gives thanks, not for what's missing but for what's there. He breaks the bread, hands it to the disciples. No complaints, no fear, just gratitude and trust. The disciples begin to pass the food, hands trembling, hearts racing. Imagine being the first to receive a piece. What would you think? And then, the impossible happens. The food doesn't run out, it multiplies. Basket after basket, the bread and fish keep coming. The disciples stare in disbelief, reaching in, pulling out more and more and more. The crowd's eyes widen, murmurs turn to gasps. A miracle is unfolding right before their eyes. If you were there, would you believe it? Every single person, man, woman, child, eats until they're full. Laughter erupts. Strangers become friends, sharing food, sharing wonder. The hillside, once filled with hunger and doubt, now buzzes with joy and amazement. It's a feast, it's a celebration, it's a miracle in motion. Can you picture the smiles, the laughter, the relief? And just when you think it's over, Jesus tells the disciples, gather the leftovers. They move through the crowd, collecting what remains. The result? 12 baskets, overflowing. More than they started with. The crowd stares, stunned. The disciples' arms ache from carrying abundance. Imagine the shock, more leftovers than what they began with. Let that sink in. They started with almost nothing, and ended with more than enough. It's abundance that defies logic, a miracle that shatters expectations. In the hands of Jesus, the smallest gift becomes a feast. The impossible becomes reality. What would you do with that kind of abundance? The crowd is thunderstruck. Some whisper, some shout, some just sit in stunned silence. They've witnessed the impossible. For a heartbeat, the ordinary world has cracked open and the extraordinary has poured in. This is a miracle, a sign that anything is possible. Would you ever see the world the same way again? Here's what grabs me every time. Jesus didn't need a grand gesture. He didn't wait for the perfect solution. He took what was offered, no matter how small, and turned it into more than enough. Our limitations? They're not barriers, they're the starting line for miracles. What small thing could you offer today? What mattered wasn't the size of the gift but the courage to give it. That boy didn't know what would happen. He just offered what he had. That simple act of generosity became the spark for a miracle. You don't have to wait until you have more or until you feel ready. Just give what you have right now, right where you are. What's in your hands today? Think about your own life. How many times have you held back, thinking your gift was too small? How often have you doubted that your kindness, your time, your help could make a difference? But what if you just gave it anyway? What if your small act could be multiplied in ways you can't even imagine? Imagine the ripple effect you could start. Sometimes the miracle isn't just in the outcome, it's in the act of giving itself. When you step out in faith, even with trembling hands, you open the door for something greater. Your small gifts, an encouraging word, a helping hand, a simple meal can ripple out, changing lives in ways you may never see. Who could you encourage today? The story of the loaves and fishes isn't just ancient history, it's a living, breathing reminder that miracles can break into our everyday lives. It's about trusting that what you have, no matter how little, can become something beautiful. It's about believing in abundance, even when all you see is scarcity. In the hands of Jesus, nothing is wasted. What miracle could begin with you? So next time you doubt your resources, your time, your energy, your money, your abilities,